we got some stuff on the agenda that we need to get done, right? So building bulletproof credit, right? So from credit repair to optimization, building an 800 plus credit score, I'm going to go over what I use, the formula I use to build an 800 credit score 3 times. We're going to go over data points of an 800 plus credit score profile. We're going to go over about payment history strategies, automating payments. We're going to talk about credit utilization, keeping balances low. We're going to talk about the snowball method, how I use the snowball method to get rid of $15,000 worth of credit card debt. We're going to talk about the authorized user strategy, leveraging a family friend or buying train lines to boost your credit for a rapid rescore, or to get some age on your credit and more credit points so you can apply for some stuff. I mentioned before paying that down using the snowball method. We're going to go over using late payments, deleting late payments, using those consumer laws. We're going to go into the credit mix and inquiries. We're going to talk about maintaining a mix of credit types. What's a good, like, all of this lesson is going to be in one. So guys, just pay attention, all right? Pay attention because we're going to be going over a lot of information today. And I'm telling you guys, you need to pay attention. That is why I gave you a second, a minute, 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes to go get something to drink, go get your pen, go get your pencils, whatever, because you do not want to miss. You don't want to miss this. All right? So let's go over to our handy dandy canvas. All right, and we finna start. So the first thing I want to talk about is update next launch. The first thing I want to talk about is that data points, right? So let's talk about data points. Right, data points. What does that mean? Data points are the key points that a creditor or a bank or an institution looks for when they're going to extend credit to you. The data point is basically a summary of what your profile is, right? I'm gonna say this again. Data points is just a summary of what is on your profile. So when I got my first 805 credit score, right, FICO points, when I got this FICO points, this is what I learned. The 5 factors, we have payment history, right? We have utilization. We have age. We have your credit mix. And then we have your inquiries. Right? Now, what do we need to know? Your credit score ranges from what? 300 to 850. And this gives us 550 points that we must maximize on in order to have perfect credit. Now, when we talk about perfect credit, we need to know that your payment history needs to be what? Let me change the color of the marker for here. Green. Your payment history needs to be 100%. You need 100% payment history. You need a utilization of 10% or less. All right? 10% or less for utilization. The age of your credit, the average age needs to be 3+ years or more. All right? And your credit mix, it's great to have 5 to 10 primaries, right? We put primaries on top. I'll explain what that is in a minute. Right? Primaries. And then for your inquiries, you want to have 3 or lower per CRA. So you need a 100% payment history. You need a 10% or less utilization. You need an average years. Let me put years right here. Yes. Can y'all see years? Like I've just put it on here. 3 years. Yep. Right. You need 3+ years or more. You need 5 to 10 primaries, and you need a 3 or less inquiries per CRA. So per CRA would be 3 or less on TransUnion, 3 or less on Equifax, 3 or less on Experian. That's what that means, right? So what else do we need to know? The credit score ranges from 300 to 850. So there's a few things we need to know now. So let's go over here a little bit and let's talk about the data points themselves. How much of your, if the credit score ranges from 300 to 850 and it gives us 550 points, that simply means that the points also convert to a percentage ratio when you take the FICO points into consideration. Because if it ranges from 300 to 850 and there's 550 points, it simply means that 100% should be equal to 550 points. So for those of you that are not following yet, did you know that your payment history makes up 35% of your FICO scores? Your utilization makes up 30% of your FICO score. The age on your credit makes up 15%. Your mixture accounts for 10%, and your inquiries accounts for 10%. Right? So each percentage of your FICO, so we call this the FICO pie chart. 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. 35, 30, 15, 10, 10. This is the data points. This is what your credit report, well, not your credit, yes, your credit report is taken. Your report itself is taken and it's categorized and it's placed into 5 categories. So that long credit report that you guys have, it is taken into an algorithm. The algorithm that Fair Isaacs Corporation or FICO has, it has 5 main data points: payment history, utilization, the age of your credit, the mixture of your credit, and the inquiries. This is what your credit score now will be based off. So how you do in these categories will determine if you have great credit, closer to 850, or if you have bad credit, closer to 300, okay? So when we break it down, we can see that, all right, if 550 is the total amount of points. So guys, remember, I only have a high school diploma, so I need your help. Can I get a lifeline, please? Can I get a lifeline?
I'm here for you.
All right, I got a lifeline, thank you. What is 35% of 550?
192.5.
All right.
One.
Your payment history, that is 35%. Out of the 550 points, FICO is going to rate your payment history at a whopping 192.5 points. That's the amount of FICO points you can maximize for payment history. Utilization, 30%. What do I have? 30% of 550.
165.
165 FICO points. Now, my age of my credit, right, accounts for 15%. What is 15% of 550?
82.5.
82.5. And my credit mix is 10%. What am I at?
55.
55 and 55. Now, when you add these up, ladies and gentlemen, Tell me how much you get. 192.5 plus 165 plus 82.5 plus 55 plus 55. What is our total?
550.
Yep, our total should match right here. So that shows you that the math that we did right there is what? Accurate. So knowing all of this, and this is where it got real for me. When I saw all of these numbers, I was like, that simply means that I can literally control what they see. Because if I know that late payments does not exist unless I let it, and I know that if I use the snowball method to pay down my utilization, I can get a trade line to boost my year and increase my credit mix, and I can delete the inquiries over the phone. Oh my God. All right, I think that may have went over somebody's head. So let me play it back real quick. Let me play it back. Let me play it back real quick. Let me see if I can get some space over here. Seeing these numbers, this is what I learned. Late payments, I can use 1666B to get that late payment off, and S27. I know that I can use these to get it off. Utilization, I can use the snowball. Right? For age, I can get trade lines. For credit mix, trade lines. And for inquiries, I can use a 24-hour guide and get those deleted. Holy smokes. Do you understand that each category or each data point, you literally have the strategy to reduce or delete that particular data point? Okay, there's somebody in the crowd that don't believe me. It's all good. It's all good. Test my gangster today. All right, we're gonna start at late payment. 15 USC 1666B. We're gonna start there. We're gonna take them one at a time. Right? We're gonna take them one at a time. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedures designed to ensure that each periodic statement, including the information required by Section 1637B of this title, is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. Well, there's nothing in here that speaks about if you did not pay on time. Nothing here speaks about that. So that simply means that the meaning for late payment is not that if you missed a specific date, it talks about what they're supposed to do. Because it clearly says that a creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open-end consumer credit plan as late for any purpose unless. So the unless part changed the game, and it gives us now specifically what needs to be done. So when we take a look at it for late payment, so let's break late payment down. It says that we need what? Number one, a periodic statement. Most of you got this. Most of you may have gotten a periodic statement. Most of you get a statement in the mail. That part is there.